Hi, this is Ed from Exotic Planks welcoming you to another Turning Tips. Today we're going to take the Zodiac kit and turn a circuit board pen on that kit. I was asked this week whether you could do that without hitting any of the components, so we decided to give it a try. I started out with a D-shaped blank, which is the circuit board blank. There are several different circuit board blanks out there. This one has components in it. Some of them don't. And this one is D-shaped, and some of them are round or square. So I'm going to let you hear more of this than I usually do, so you realize when you hear the clattering that that is normal when you're working with a D-shape. You're hitting the corners twice, so you are going to hear it clunk, clunk, clunk. As you can see, I start with the two ends of the blank and turn them down close to the diameter of the bushing, which is the diameter that I'm aiming for. You'll notice that most of the time there are ribbons coming off of this, even though it is a D shape. As soon as I reach the round, then you should start to see ribbons again. If you don't, one of the major things to look at is to make sure that your tool is sharp. There really is a difference between a sharp tool and a not quite sharp enough tool. If you find that you're not cutting the material at all, or you're having a hard time doing it, it requires a lot of strength, then the problem is probably that your tool is not sharp. At this point, the blank is round, and as you can see, I've blown it up a bit so that you can see what we're doing. We have not touched any of the components yet. It is at a point where you could finalize the shape if you wanted to and call it done. I like it a little bit thinner than this, and I'm really not afraid of hitting those pieces, those components. As you can tell, there's almost no sound of turning. You hear the engine, the motor of the lathe running, but you really don't hear me going across that plastic at all. That's what happens when your tool is sharp and you've got... Now, the tool is not incredibly sharp, or you would see it shiny as opposed to being dull, but it's where it needs to be. So I start sanding. I sand with 400 grit first, 400, 600, and then usually to the buffer. Sometimes I put 1,000 grit in between there. Way I've found to figure out which grit is which when it's laying on the bench, I'm now using 1 inch wide 400 and 1.5 inch wide 600. So I know if it's a narrow sheet, it's going to be the first step. If it's a wider sheet, it's going to be the second step. So that's all there is to it. That from here on we'll be doing some sanding. The whole process of making this pen took a little less than 5 minutes in real time. It was a lot faster than making the video, I'll tell you that. But the purpose here is to show that it can be done. The components will not pop out. I'm also going to include a close-up picture of the components so you can see what the pen looked like as it was finished. there is a spot where I have touched it, I believe. But it really doesn't matter because my tool is sharp enough that it will just cut off any of these little pieces that happen to be there. You don't have to worry about pulling it out. It's not going to happen as long as you have a sharp tool. So that's all there is to it. Pictures will be of the close-up and then also of the finished pen. And I thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a email at sales@exoticblanks.com. And of course, we appreciate it if you like the videos and if you let us know if there are any other videos you'd like to see. Thanks again. Have a great evening. This is Ed from Exotics. Good night now.